traditional investor building VC funds used to come from finance. Now that's changing, but today's guests are the epitome of the modern VC because they come from everywhere else. The Peace Corps, the National Security Innovation Network, enterprise software, government work, and tech companies. Lots of tech companies. This is the Top Decile Podcast. I'm Connor Sattely with Decile Group's Deals team. And today, we're talking about what a fund looks like when the operators are the investors and the investors are the operators. My guests co-founded Arta VC with shared conviction that AI applied to real-world enterprise systems is still massively underbacked. One brings 2 decades spanning consultancy, SaaS, healthcare, and government across multiple continents and fundraised more than $40 million across 4 startups. The other is the self-described superconnector of the National Capital Region, a serial founder and applied mathematician who's built 8 companies and now runs the data and deal flow engine behind the fund. Arta backs early-stage founders building at the intersection of AI, data, and real-world systems. Happy to welcome Anca and Andrey from Arta VC. Anca, Andrey, welcome.
Thank you, Connor. Such a great introduction.
So, Anca, I'll start with you. You came to this from government, healthcare, enterprise ops, fundraising across so many startups. What made you decide to go down this VC route? Where did starting a fund come into it for you?
I will add to the mix that I have spent quite a few years across venture and corporate VC at the beginning of my career as well, coming out of grad school. And in one of those early opportunities, I met Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos, and I was one of the analysts behind the review of their proposal and pitch to, at the time, the Blue Venture Fund, and was the one who supported a no-go investment in Theranos. So that kind of, gave me like a first flavor for what the startup space would be about. And, shortly thereafter, I also started a real estate fund of my own. I eventually left corporate, joined another startup, a few other startups after that as an operator. And again, I've been on both sides of venture, so the capital side of things, and also hands-on operating. And a couple of years ago, I've also joined a group, the National Security Innovation Network, where I saw an opportunity for a lot of like deep tech startups that were getting missed or underfunded, and realized I'm in the center of a lot of interesting opportunities. I have built a network with Andrey and Station Alpha, and that combined with the commercialization experience that I have and my network and the fundraising side would make like a perfect fit to bring some of these amazing deep tech startups and applied AI focused primarily on the DMV region.
I love it. And hearing your passion for the startups ecosystems too that runs through that journey is really cool. Hearing that this is a way to morph that experienced VC as a VC early in your career with the operating experience, it seems to make sense. So Andrey, I want to talk to you about that too. Where does VC come in for you? I mean, you've been building tech companies for decades. At what point do you decide to hop the table and sit on the other side?
Oh, it came in stages, actually. I had several signals from several people, like we were at this one event, and then Anca came, and she was like, I'm actually going to start my fund. And I was like, okay, you're crazy, bye. And it was a long time ago, back when we just barely knew each other. And then I also have a lot of friends among VCs. I was building my network extensively in the last couple of years. And at one point, it won me actually have official prize, and I was named the super connector of the DMV by our largest tech community. It's called DC Tech. I'm really grateful to them for this boost. And fun fact, it used to be the largest meetup in the world. You can research it. Yeah, these are great guys. And one day they gathered a crowd of 2,000 RSVPs unexpectedly. So it was a fun thing. And then I get another boost from local media. We have this organization called Technically, and I won another prize for being super connector. So between me and Anca, we have extensive network of connections. And a few of my friends from this network almost at the same time said, Andrey, you know so many people, you have access to all this high net worth, you have access to this great pool of local startups with great ideas. You know what makes startups successful and not from the technology perspective. You have to start your fund. And I said, you're crazy, bye. And one day, I actually thought, okay, let me do the research. And I found this awesome organization. It's called VC Lab. And I think we'll mention it a few more times. I highly recommend you guys to take a look at what it is and what they do. And Anca and I, we had a cup of coffee, and she was like, you know, I actually was with VC Lab. How about we team up for this cohort, upcoming cohort number 19, if I remember correctly. And let's see what will happen. And we applied, and it was not easy. It was a very extensive and challenging training. And 6, 8, whatever, how long it took, like several months, we actually graduated. And we're really grateful to Decile Group and to VC Lab for this education. We started our fund, and we're now talking to all our network, to our LPs, and to our startups as well. So we're really excited about this development.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I only have one question. How many conversations start with somebody telling you something and you say, okay, bye? Because I noticed that twice now. No, I like it. I love that you're a super
It's not
connector,
just
and I
okay,
think
bye.
it's a
It's
really
also,
great.
it is, you crazy, bye. The crazy
You're
part.
crazy,
No,
and then you walk away.
yes. I hope we'll have a chance to speak about this, but this whole feeling of the VC, modern VC system of being a little bit broken, and not actually addressing what's happening with the startups, especially at the early stages. That's what made me say, like, no, it's not for me. Like, I don't want to be part of this broken system. But then we got a chance to do something to actually fix it and do it
Yeah,
right.
man.
So
Well, I'm glad that you did. And of course, at VC Lab, we're really happy to support new and emerging managers like you. So it's proof that it works. So I want to ask about now the subject matter. I think a lot of people that are listening to this might be relieved to hear other people say, AI exists in the real world, or AI that actually builds things, or AI that you can touch and feel, because AI is a really theoretical, it's an abstract concept to a lot of people. Tell me a little bit about why you want to focus on real world applied systems where AI can make a difference. Why is that the focus of your fund?
I'll say from my perspective, one of my first experiences with AI was in a startup that was using computer vision in camera systems. And they were using this solution to enable more safety drivers. So it was used in trucks and in other vehicles. And I was like, oh my God, like, you're using these camera systems to see what's happening in the vehicle and correlate that with what's happening in front of the vehicle, so you can alert the driver in real time of a possible, accident scenario. And I'm like, wow, that's fascinating. AI that's saving lives. So that's where I saw, one of those real life scenarios where AI is not just a construct and it's like something in the cloud. You don't see it, you don't understand it. How could it actually help me? It's something complex, sophisticated, intangible in an actual product that, saves people's lives. And to that point, our first investment was in a company that uses artificial intelligence in eyeglasses to solve to help correct eye vision problems, primarily in the elderly, so folks over the age of 55. So think those individuals get to wear up to 3 pairs of eyeglasses, from like the readers to, for nearsighted, farsightedness. You see them, they have again 3 pairs, one up on their head, and these guys came up with 1 pair of eyeglasses with AI that tracks where you're looking in real time. So yes, it's AI tracking your pupils and how far you're looking. And they've built a proprietary multi-lens system that autofocuses in real time based on where you look. So it's Andrey can tell you he's tried them on as well. It's just unbelievable how a product like that, can change a person's lives, especially for folks over the age of 60, 70, who end up believing that, hey, I'm getting old. I will never be able to see how I used to see when I was young. It's just, it's the natural aging of the eye. It's a disease, whatever. And then when they tested these glasses, they were blown away. They're like, I can see better than I ever remember I could see. So those are, some of the examples we're seeing in real life.
Yep. To add to what Anca said about this company, so we have another mission on the side. We live in the DMV region. DMV is DC, Maryland, and Virginia. It's a small cluster of highly wealthy counties. We have 5 richest counties from top 10 richest counties in the United States. So there's a lot of capital here. And the DMV is the second largest talent pool in the country, second only to Silicon Valley. And all this money is not flowing towards great ideas. So we're trying to hack the situation and make money to flow instead of real estate to actually fuel some great ideas. And from that side, we're using this fund, and we also have this angel group, and we gather people, investors, and startups in the same room to show the cool technologies being developed. So we invited a former military pilot to this group, and he actually was not able to see like when he was able to see when he was young. He said, "I never had this kind of vision in my life, ever." So it gives you almost superhuman ability to refocus between your dashboard and what's in the distance immediately, much faster than human eye can do. But the other thing, I'm actually in AI for a very long time. I was building my neural networks back when it was not cool yet, in 90s. I'm a computer scientist by education. I have a master's degree. And what we saw in the modern companies, if you look at the numbers, 70% of all efforts to integrate AI into existing enterprises, they fail. Why they fail is because, even at the executive level, people are struggling with understanding like how to attach this new cool thing to what they have built for decades. So they want AI, they want it now, they have no idea how to use it. So we're actually investing in companies that build around AI, that already found a purpose for AI, and then they build their business around that purpose. So among our top of the bottom of the funnel, you can see companies that work with space, for example. What space can have in common with AI? Well, that's a completely robotic platform. Everything is controlled by AI. And that's another example of where AI can be applied to solving real problems. So it's not just like SaaS, which got this add-on with ChatGPT.
Well, I think it's not only an amazing investment thesis. I think it's also a beautiful approach towards startups, is thinking about what can really impact people's lives. It's the stuff that they can touch and feel. It's the things that they can experience. It's the way that AI can make a difference in their everyday life. So I really love it. Now, here's the challenging part is you both come from, I mean, Anca, obviously you have plenty of VC experience, but you both more so come from the tech company side of running and operating. Walk me through the LP process, right? Fundraising for a VC fund, that must have been a strange step to take. So let me know a little bit about what it was like to start that and how's it going?
Okay, I'll start this time. I would say it's fun because we start with presenting the opportunities we're working on, and people are excited. Once we are face to face with someone who resonates with startups and the types of industries we're looking at, actually, the conversation is really easy. And because we've already made some investments prior to, formalizing the recipe around the fund, it's easier to, go back to some of those early investors and say, hey, now, the fund is ready. What do you think? We have these other interesting opportunities. So while, I won't lie and say that it doesn't get exhausting, right? Because we're speaking to people nonstop. And in parallel, we're trying to find more and more interesting opportunities to invest in. And at the same time, I think it's rewarding when we get the thumbs up and people are like, yeah, I actually want to invest in this one opportunity directly too. How can I do that? Yeah, that's a little bit from me. Andrey?
Certainly your opinion. It's a lot of fun. The another component of what we do is we actually do a lot of things in person. So it's less of cold emails. We actually gather full rooms with dozens, sometimes over 100 people in the same room, and we're connecting investors and startups. And in many cases, when potential LPs see the quality of the startups we're bringing, seeing that we don't bring any of, hey, I have a cool idea, give me 10 million and I'll build it. No, we're bringing somebody. We actually prefer bringing actual demos into the room so that people can try this technology and apply to their everyday life. And when we do this, our potential LPs, they get really excited about this and they actually come to us with the offer like, guys, let's discuss can I be part of this? So yeah, lots of fun and lots of energy in the same room.
I love it. So tell me a little bit about your LPs. If somebody's listening to this and they agree with
Mhm.
the idea of they want to be a supporter of a fund that would look at startups at this intersection of AI and data and reality and applied systems, what are the types of LPs that you want to have with you in your fund?
I can start. I'll throw in one interesting fact. Q1 2026, the biggest quarter in entire VC life ever. 300 billion invested, and 83%, if I remember correctly, were invested here in the United States, and 75% went into companies that use AI in one shape and form or another, right? So we, at the same time, another major crisis is that bulk of this money go in very concentrated funding to very few companies. So these are huge rounds going to very few companies, and year over year, there is 30% decline of investment into companies at the seed, pre-seed level. So we are on the hottest market right now, where the offer is huge and the supply is very small. So I feel like Arta is positioned perfectly for this time in humankind development. So with this realization, once our potential LPs realize that, they have more incentives to be part of this huge development, huge and exciting development. And if you think about all the different archetypes of people who can invest, sometimes these could be billionaires, right? And they'll just, okay, here's $1 million, manage my money. But in many cases, it's just people who make, I don't know, $200,000-$300,000 per year, and they can write relatively small checks of 50K. And our main mission is basically to get them excited about the AI and what's happening on the market right now, and basically funneling this kind of investment into great ideas instead of, I don't know, buying another Bitcoin, right? How can you brag about, okay, I just bought another Bitcoin? But being able to say, hey, I actually did something to bring this great idea to life and to actually help people, I think that's very honorable. And a big part of what we do is actually education, how to you actually can contribute to great ideas.
And I'll just add a real quick on top of that. Some of the places we've seen like very engaging conversation, and also people who move very fast, or individuals who do come from a deep tech background, or our product managers have worked in a combination of corporate and startups and understand both worlds. And quite a few of them have been dabbling with the idea of joining a startup. So they, might not be in a startup yet, but they're like thinking about it. So they're in those kinds of roles, and also some individuals who uh, are thinking that their commercial background and expertise, could be helpful to the portfolio company. So, again, coming from more like deep tech, like space, and a few other industries, like, more applied expertise to certain sectors, and government included. Those are the types of profiles where we're seeing success with.
Yeah, I love it. It's two operators who are close to the issues at hand that are building an ecosystem of other operators, of people who get it, get the tech, they're excited by the opportunity, and you can bring them along with you. So I think it's a really cool vision of what you're building at Arta. Leave us with one more vision. If you had to say maybe which sector within AI, or what type of a system or infrastructure play do you think is going to be the biggest winner over the next few years? If you could tell somebody to put their money in one type of a company, what kind of a company would that be here in 2026? Call your shot.
I can start. When we were starting the fund, we actually wanted to be agnostic, because there are so many cool ideas across the entire spectrum. And then when we chose applied AI, we realized that we're almost agnostic because AI is everywhere. If you're asking so my recommendation would be AI, specifically applied AI, and that's what we're focusing on. But to be more specific about the niches, I would say robotics would be the next revolution, and it is 100% applied AI. And space exploration, and since space is so challenging for humans to survive, I think robotics will play a huge, and automation will play a huge role in space exploration as well. So robotics and space, I would say double down on them, triple down on that.
Love it. And Anca, what do you think?
Well, it seems that Andrey and I, are like thinking the exact same thing. So not too much to add to that. So those are some of the hottest opportunities we're seeing, at least, in our closer ecosystem.
Awesome. Well, I'm so appreciative of both of you for taking the time to chat today. It was really nice to get to know you and a little bit about what your fund is doing. And of course, on the Decile and VC Lab side, we've got your back. We're here to help. And it's an honor and a privilege to see what the journey has in store for you. So, Anca, Andrey, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you, Connor.
Thank you, Connor.
All right, bye, guys.
Bye.